That's all Trump does. Is he just plans around shit and he prepares for different possibilities. So looking at the Charlie Kirk situation, right? What did he gain? What did Donald Trump gain? And this is a very weird psyop in that it was very, very targeted. You don't really see hyper targeted psyops today, at least not by like the old CIA, aka the reptilian CIA, uh, uh, who would usually just psyop people for the emotions, right? And then when you just want to maximize people's emotions, maximize the loosh, as some people would say, you don't really care about who your psyop hits, right? Because you just want to maximize all the emotions, right? But in this case, this psyop was specifically targeted towards white people, specifically targeted towards all white people, but really towards right-leaning Christian white people. That was made very, very clear across these past 10 days, and it was meant to galvanize certain people. After Trump won, a lot of people, well, white people in general, are very lackadaisical. Ever since they just took over the world, right? However long they've taken over the world and they've just been the most influential race, they become more and more lackadaisical. You can tell because there's white liberals, right? There's no such thing as a white liberal as we know it today, 100 years ago. You know what I mean? So they become more and more relaxed and more lackadaisical. It takes a lot to just galvanize white people in general, right? Like even with the Carlo Brown shit, that didn't really galvanize people. It pissed them off, yeah, but galvanize means they're ready to do something about it, right? Ready to take action. And that's what this Charlie Kirk death did. It galvanized the right, the hidden majority, as Trump would like to say. When he's speaking about the hidden majority, he's talking about people who are afraid to say that they support Donald Trump. But really, he's talking about white people as well. White people who just, out in the sticks, who just don't give a fuck about politics and just out there living their lives, right? White people don't really move unless they believe it's a do or die situation, right? Otherwise, they're just chilling. They're just chilling. They like to chill. White people like to chill, man. That's why I fuck with white people and I don't fuck with white people. Because when y'all stop chilling, y'all. anyways, I love my white people who follow me. Everyone else doesn't go to hell. They can go to hell. But yeah, galvanized white people, right? I think the Charlie Kirk funeral in general got a bunch of views, was rivaling MLK, and yes, Charlie Kirk is equivalent to MLK, even though in their lives, I don't think Charlie Kirk did as much work as MLK did, even though MLK is a Freemason and he's gay and he cheated on his wife, right? So in some respects, I guess you can say Charlie Kirk was a better man than MLK. But just speaking to the legend of MLK, right? What do most people know him for? I don't think Charlie Kirk necessarily reached that level, at least not yet. Maybe he was gearing up towards that way. I'll never know. We'll never know. But still, his legend now is equal to MLK. Trump has what's the word, promoted Charlie Kirk to a martyr of MLK status, probably even more, honestly, except that he's using the energy in a different way. The elites used MLK as a way to unify black and white people, right in a kind of sense. I don't want to get into that. It's just the way black people evolved in this country. It was wrong. Black people never fought out of slavery. It was given to us, right? Black people never really fought for their own right to vote. It was given to us. like you could say that the civil rights era movement, we protested and we stood in crowds and shit. But what does that do, right? Lyndon Baines Johnson, he did not need to give anybody rights. Anyways, I think you guys get my point. If white people are an oppressor, right? White people are the oppressor and they rule this country, and black people were a lower class, right? They had, no matter what we did, they still could just say, fuck you, we're not giving you anything, right? They didn't have to let us go. And I think just because black people didn't fight their way out of slavery like we're supposed to, or at least had a drastic action to get out of slavery, it really fucked up our community. Same thing with the civil rights era. We didn't really fight. Yes, Rosa Parks sat at the front of the bus. Yes, MLK gave speeches, but that's white. Lyndon Baines didn't have to do what he did, is my point. They did that for a reason, and that had effects on the black community. But that's not what the focus of this space is about. The elites used the energy of MLK to try and unify black people in the most corrupted sense of the way. And now Donald Trump is using Charlie Kirk's death in a different direction. He's not unifying, he's clarifying the enemies. That's the second thing that Trump gained. At least, I don't want to say just Trump, as if he organized this entire thing, because we don't know that. I don't want to speak on things I don't know. But the right, I'll say the right, this is a political psyop. The right gained an enemy. It gained a clear enemy. Because before, The very important thing that a lot of people just aren't getting is that Charlie Kirk died. He died. Like that costs a lot. And I know black people are going to say, well, niggas die every day. Well, it's going to be tough to say. How do I say this without offending black people? Because black people really don't get it. They don't get it. They even like right after he died, a lot of black people were like, so like why does this matter? And even like black people who are going back and listening to Charlie Kirk, they're like, he's not saying anything that crazy. Why is he like such a leader? Well, he's a political figure who died. He's technically a martyr. By that definition, he is a martyr, right? The first martyr America has had in a long, long time. Like the first real martyr. I think there was the guy who fucking I don't want to laugh. It's not funny. Remember the guy who like burnt himself on like Capitol Hill? And everyone just forgot. He's like Free Palestine. He burnt himself. No one cared. No one cared. But Charlie Kirk, he had an actual following. He had a massive following actually, and he died like on live television. It was a very gruesome death. And he died because of his politics. It's not because he died because he owed somebody money. Not because he's not because he died overdosing on fentanyl. Right? He died due to like a crazy motherfucking a gay man. He died because like a gay furry loving leftist, pretty much, and that's the difference. It's like if someone, it's like if who we don't even have anybody on our side. Like it's like if Colin Kaepernick when he was kneeling, right? It's like if a right wing KKK racist shot Colin Kaepernick. Colin Kaepernick would then be a martyr at that point. Like that's basically what it would be. Like there's not even a Charlie Kirk equivalent for black people. Who's that important for black people politically? I can't even think of one. It's like if Obama before he got elected for president, it's like if he got shot in one of his speeches. That's what happened, but for white people. That's like the perfect equivalent. Obama pre-2008, during one of his speeches, talking about hope and change, and then a white person just said, die, nigger, and just shot him. That's the equivalent. There you go. Just to help black people just understand what just happened. Someone wants to come up, I'll let you come up, bro. What's good, Mo Wisdom? How you doing?
Doing good, man. Malcolm X is the equivalent, man.
Malcolm X, you say?
Yeah, they had their viewpoints to where they were strict, firm, and had their own beliefs. But, it took for people like them to speak on them openly first, and then others would either consciously or subconsciously agree.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Or I'll say, you say Malcolm X, I agree. I'll say also Muhammad Ali, when he said, I'm not, no Vietnamese ever called me nigger, and then a white person shot him. That'll be just for his beliefs. Then Muhammad Ali would be a martyr, just like Malcolm X, as you're saying. I think those are very good examples to try and help black people understand what just happened. Except now we're in the age of social media. So everything is heightened, right? And tensions are high in general because black people do believe that Donald Trump is super racist Hitler for some reason. Oh man, I want better for us, man. We should be at least on immigration. We should be supporting Trump, man. Because no, I'm not getting into that. I don't want to derail what I'm talking about. But how do you feel about the Charlie Kirk situation, bro? Do you think it's a psyop? Do you think he really died? Some people don't think he died. Then do you think he did die? Do you think? Just give me your thoughts, Mo Wisdom.
Yeah, I got you. First off, I don't think any human being deserves to get removed off this physical plane like that in any regard. You have thoughts and theories and ideals, whatever it comes down to. You still got to respect the fact that man had 2 daughters, I believe, and a wife. And that's a very traumatic event to go through. And whether, majority of his ideals were accurate or not doesn't mean that he still doesn't have the right to speak on them. So if you don't agree with him, that's one thing. But, you also have to just have that baseline of respect for human beings because, I don't think he was necessarily looked at as a negative being by the elites or the powers that be. for what he was saying. Let's say like what he was saying wasn't true. Even if it wasn't true, he still had the ability to influence people and get them to listen and think. And the real that's what the real problem was. He was able to make motherfuckers think. They talk about this in the book of Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. And I see a lot of different videos talking about how Charlie Kirk's stats were inaccurate when referring to blacks and how blacks convict more, or how blacks commit more crime than the white race, because what the white race was like, what, 56%, and blacks only 13%, and they have like an overwhelming 60% of committed crimes. But the truth is, blacks weren't actually committing more crimes. They're just convicted more often for these crimes. And you could see this like just over time. Two people, one white, one black, gets pulled over for having an ounce of weed or like a gram of weed, and the white person might get significantly less time just simply because of how this judicial system is set up. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and say Charlie Kirk was a racist at the time, but he definitely did play into a couple stereotypes, and prejudices, just with the antics and the.
I'm not going to get into the race stuff yet. That'll be for a black spaces. This isn't particularly a black spaces, at least not right now. Um, I will say that like he is getting misquoted a lot. Like one of the quotes he gets misquoted for. He's saying that he would let his daughter keep a rape baby, um, a baby from rape, pretty much. And that was a question that somebody asked him. A lot of people are clipping out like this young woman asking him a question. Is like, if your daughter was raped, da 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 da. He said, yes, I had to stand by my faith. It's just something I would believe in. Yes, it's not. He's not saying that he would. He's getting misquoted. I'm sorry, but that's beyond the point.
Well, I only said that because you said you're not trying to get into the race thing, but you also previously got into the race thing by saying black people need to do better. That's the only reason why I got into that section.
I'm just talking about politically. We need to do better.
Yeah,
We could be a
absolutely.
lot smarter. I think, but
Yeah, I agree.
you you need to be here when I talk about black people. I love to have you here. But Charlie Kirk, I think what a lot of people are missing. I think a lot of people are missing, like whether he's dead or alive, right? Because I'm seeing people say, "Oh, there was AI used at the Charlie Kirk event, and he's floating to a chair or his ring, right?" Or some people saying that, like, they're saying all types of shit, right? I think whether he's dead or alive is beyond the point. It doesn't really matter if he's dead or alive anymore. And even if we could prove that he's alive, then what, right? Trump is bullying people right now with just his office, right? Um, there's one person I follow, I forget his name, but he's in South Africa, right? And back when Trump was embarrassing the president of South Africa, right, and he was trying to say that there's a white genocide in South Africa, the dude was like, "No, there's not. Trump is lying." And I replied to him, I'm like, "Dude, he's the president of the United States versus you. Who are you convincing?" Same thing with the crime in DC. I got people who live in DC and they're saying like, yeah, all the criminals are just going to leave and then come back when the National Guard leaves. It's like he's not really doing anything. But again, you have the voice of the president of the United States. The office of the president of the United States is saying he brought down crime. Who's really going to listen, right? And like there's videos of like the National Guard and shit. So like it's all about Trump just enforcing this reality. So if Trump says he's dead and I say he's not, then what? What's the next step? A lot of conspiracy theorists are just like getting distracted with this. I don't know if it's a red herring or a smokescreen or whatever you call it, but don't focus on whether Kirk is dead or alive. For all intents and purposes, he's dead. It's not like he's coming back, unless like the Q shit happens and they reveal everything. But I don't believe in that. So, oh, what's up, Mo Wisdom?
Yeah, Kirk was a very interesting being, born in 1993. He got that hidden 22 energy, and he's a rooster as well. And it's the year of the snake and a rooster month currently. So it made me think, like, all right, this guy was able to achieve and ascend through the ranks at a very fast rate. When it comes to like the narrative of how Americans should feel, or even people all over the world, I like a stance similar to Dom Lucree, his stance. and just trying to get people to understand, like, if this can happen to Kirk, then it means it can happen to a lot of people. And it's,
Yeah, that's the other thing I was going to get into. Thank you for bringing that up. Because what white people are seeing right now is because that's the other thing about Charlie Kirk. He looks like a lot of white people. He looks like the regular, average white man. So that when I was saying that it galvanized the right, it galvanized the Christian right, and it galvanized the right Christian white people, is because Charlie Kirk just looks like an average man, an average father. Um, he didn't say anything too crazy. It's not like he's Alex Jones, right? He didn't say. He said what the average Christian white person will believe, right? And so when Charlie Kirk dies, like right in front of his children, and then they see the left cheering, that's like the important part. It's not just that he died, right? Because if he had just died on national television, that's one thing. But it's like the unified cheering for Charlie Kirk's death. Yeah, black people cheering for it. I think black people are just happy to see a cracker die. that's what I think.
Yeah,
I think
did you see? Honestly, I didn't see too many people cheering for his
I saw a bunch
death,
of people cheering.
but I also, don't have TikTok. Well, I do have it. I'm not just not on it. But from what I was
Mm-hmm.
shown, it wasn't majority of black people that were cheering.
No, I follow people from all across the spectrum. So like there was definitely black people. It was a lot of younger black people because a lot of so here's the difference. Here's the difference in the left. Just left generally, right? The younger people on the left were cheering, like, yay, Hitler died, we got him. Hitler 2.0 died. Fuck yes, another Nazi dead. That was amongst the younger people. And then the older people were trying to have class because they knew what the fuck was about to happen. They understood the point of having class. A lot of the younger left, they were cheering. It was a lot of cheering, a lot of cheering. Like I said, I follow people on the left and on the right. I follow communists. No, I don't. I don't follow communists, but I follow everyone else but communists. I follow liberals. I follow extremely left following people. I follow all types of people, man. And there was definite cheering amongst the left. They cheered. They were very happy that Charlie Kirk died. And that was very unsettling for regular people. That was extremely unsettling. I don't know if Trump knew that the left would react this way. That's a hell of a read, man. That's a hell of a read to just know that your opponents will cheer for you dying. But the visceral reaction that people get from seeing that, I think, is worth more than a lot. Because Trump has all the political, what's the word? Capital. Yeah, capital. He has all the political capital in the world right now. I mean, more than he's ever did, pretty much. Because now white people are galvanized. Right now, we have a clear enemy. Well, I say we. Now the right has a clear enemy. I don't consider myself a part of the right. Right? I think that's a white thing, and I'm just not a part of it. Even though I do support a lot of the right's beliefs and philosophies. Right? I'm not a part of them. I'm not going to fall for that trick. But still, Trump can do whatever he wants now, and he's going to do whatever he wants. He saw that he listed Antifa as a political enemy, and in response to that, the left was like, Antifa is just anti-fascist. Everyone's anti-fascist. This is not a group. A, that's a lie. Antifa is a group, and B, they might want to stop doing that. They might not want to say that because now you're giving Trump the ammo to list anyone as Antifa, right? Or anyone as a part of Antifa. He's trying to go after George Soros. He's hinted towards that a lot. He's trying to get at Obama, low key. Obama's committed like 5 different crimes that he can get arrested for. The spying on him, using the NSA, CIA to spy on the Trump campaign. That's highly illegal. It shouldn't have never been done. That's just one thing, and then there's more. There's more. I'm not going to get into it, but no, Trump is trying to get at Obama. He was berating Pam Bondi, saying, hey, bitch, get some shit done. What the fuck are you doing? Like he's trying to get a lot of momentum, and we might be seeing arrest of Antifa. But the low level Antifa doesn't matter. I think Trump knows that too. He's trying to get results. He's trying to galvanize his base because he really wants a lot of momentum. At least from where I'm standing, he wants a lot of momentum for 2028. This is all pointing towards 2028, the midterms for me. And then he's really going to ramp up the last 2 years because he doesn't have to give a fuck. Trump doesn't give a fuck anymore. Unless the 22nd Amendment gets changed. That's the amendment regarding term limits for presidents. Unless that changes, and as far as I know, that takes a minute for that to happen, like for the entire process. I don't know exactly how long, but we're talking about years, right? It's not just a couple months where an amendment can get changed unless like something drastic happens, right? Like 9/11 type thing happens where just everybody is just lockstep trying to get this thing passed. But still, unless the 22nd Amendment changes and Trump can run for a third term, he doesn't give a fuck. and he just wants all the momentum to just ramp up everything that he's doing right now. That includes tariffs, that includes immigration, really just immigration and deportations. That includes eliminating his enemies, eliminating his enemies. He said it yesterday. I hate my enemies. I don't want what's best for them. That includes a lot of people on the left. What's up, Mo?
So, it was Bobby Hemmett, and I agree with a lot of what you said just now. That was well said. But Mr. Bobby Hemmett, rest in peace, he had mentioned at the beginning of each fall equinox, autumn equinox,
Mm-hmm.
they're always going to do some fucked up shit to distract you. Now, today, in the Kabbalic, in, the Jewish faith, in certain mystic texts, is considered the first day of the year, September 22nd, today.
Mm-hmm.
And, you can just, with those two pieces of information, it's like, all right, well, there's obviously some type of MOS update, mortal operating system update, download that we get around this time that they don't want us to focus on. I
Hold
try
on.
and pause real quick because I live next to this airport and there's always fucking planes flying and it gets fucking out. But
Yeah, I get you. I get you. Go ahead, bro.
yeah, and I just did a little bit more research, like as to why that is, and if this is quote unquote the beginning of the year and the cosmos are, giving out a specific type of energy that they don't want people to, be in a state of solitude or meditative form.
Mm-hmm.
You either get that MOS update and get that, like become better down here in the physical realm. It makes you think like, why is it always around this time that they try and harvest our attention with
Mm-hmm.
distractions? You had the murder on the train with the Ukrainian woman. She didn't deserve that. The day after, or maybe not the day after, but shortly after, Charlie Kirk's assassination. And all while this is going on, you have the files that we know about being cleared to not have to be published anymore.
You talking about the Epstein files?
Yes.
I don't care about those anymore. I think that's a psychological operation in itself. Everybody's just focusing on the Epstein files and the all that shit. But I got somebody coming in a half hour, so I gotta focus up. Let's see. Somebody coming to my house and I can't be talking while he's here. What was I going to talk about? Talk about them being galvanized, talking about Charlie Kirk. What else did we gain with Charlie Kirk? I guess we're still in the midst of it, right? And one of the weird things that I saw, right? One of the weird things that I saw is that like every nation pretty much had every significant nation had a ceremony in its sorts for Charlie Kirk because he was a martyr, number one, because he's a political martyr, one of the first that America's had in like what, 60 years, 80 years? Yeah, 80 years. And it's very weird. It's very weird for me to just see a bunch of nations just kneeling to Trump because they use Charlie Kirk as an excuse to kneel to Trump, right? And another thing, I saw Nick Fuentes, the gay, that fag. He was and I don't call him a fag because I hate him. I call him a fag because he was caught sucking dick on camera. But he was saying that this is all a push for JD Vance to become president. I don't think so. I don't think JD Vance is the pick. Personally, this is an extension of my talk of my last political spaces where I was saying who is next for the Republican Party. JD Vance has history of hating on Trump and of being like very liberal. Well, yeah, being like almost a rhino in some sense. Not completely, right? He's no Mitt Romney, right? But still, JD Vance, I don't think he's the pick. I don't think he's the pick. He's not charismatic enough. He's too much of a Christian white Republican to bring in other parties. Trump has the charisma and like the genuine authenticity to bring in people from other groups. A lot of black people don't hate Trump, and that's enough. That's enough, right? A lot of Latinos love Trump, man. Black people, we don't love him. We just don't hate him. We don't really hate him as much as you would think. A lot of the left black people, they hate him. They hate him. Oh my God. And a lot of black supremacy shit is coming out just because of Trump, right? But everyone else, we don't hate him, but we don't love him either. We fuck with him, but we don't. Trump just has that ability to bring in people from a massive amount of people from all over, and I don't think Vance is the pick. I don't know who the pick is. Gary's wife was saying Erica Kirk. I mean, and more on her in a bit. Erica Kirk being the widow of Charlie Kirk, and like, there's a lot of people saying that she's like the reincarnation, or at least like she's bringing the energy of Olga of Kiev, who has a very similar story. I believe her husband was killed and she did some shit. I didn't really read up too much on her, but yeah, there's something to that. Definitely, I can absolutely believe that Erica Kirk was an agent, maybe for Donald Trump, or a spy, or some sort of Manchurian candidate, or anything. Right? Maybe she was prepped for this position from birth. That's how deep it can go. Where like the Anunnaki or Trump's Anunnaki or whoever the fuck you want to say, right? The Illuminati, whoever you believe runs the shit, right? It doesn't really matter. They prepped Erica Kirk and they said, hey, you're going to be marrying somebody important. And, she said, yeah, have two children with this man. And he's going to die in front of you and you're going to take the mantle. I 1000% believe that can happen. Mo, what's up?
Yeah, that definitely can happen. It's honestly like some very psychotic level of intelligence when you go down those rabbit holes. Um, I think JD Vance, I don't know, like his physical feature, he actually kind of just looks like a liberal. So it doesn't even, surprise me when you said that. Like,
He looks like a
yeah,
liberal.
like
That's
if
funny.
I was to, envision a liberal, like I think he would, his facial feature, like his default facial feature, just kind of gives liberal. Like I could definitely see him hitting on Trump prior to where he was at right now, or where he is right now. And also, I think there are a lot of black people that love Trump, man. I've actually seen from my anecdotal experience a lot of black people that love Trump, and I think at times, you know, when we're in the physical realm, our nature is gonna show. At
Mm-hmm.
times, you have to just be aware that's what comes with life.
Wait a minute, brother. Are you black? Mo Wisdom? I know you're black.
Yeah,
You sound black to me, but
yeah,
just so everybody else can know. All right,
yeah,
go ahead.
definitely. I am. Both my parents are, but I have experience living around a very diverse area, and overall, I just kind of can see where the opposition is amongst many races, just because that's what wisdom's for, right? You have knowledge of the physical, mental, and the spiritual, and they pretty much give you clarity when talking about politics, financials, dating, all that good stuff. So it's no different. But overall, I think for blacks today, when it comes to Trump, they I don't like when we have narratives like Charleston White and that bullshit going on, because his response was not good. He you don't, even if you consider yourself a satire comedian, you still gotta have some condolences for the people that witnessed that.
So Charleston White, man, he's just for himself, right? I don't even think he really like believes a lot of stuff he believes in. He just knows the formula to get people worked up, right? And he just does whatever he needs to say to get people worked up because that's how you build clout, right? And it's very easy to get black people worked up today. Just say fuck King Von, fuck whoever's popular, fuck Beyonce, fuck Jay Z, and he just did the same thing for white people. He said, "I don't give a fuck about Charlie Kirk." He probably does believe that, but still, he
No,
said
but
before he likes Donald Trump though. Like he
really
said,
quick, he just took a lot of, or black people in general took a lot of collateral damage for that view. And at this very moment, it seems as if the one of the main political problems that's on the rise
mm-hmm.
is civil war and race issues, because now Americans, I think Charlie Kirk's death united Americans all together, but it also united the European race to believe that they may need to take charge again. And I'm not speaking from my own personal theory. This is just what I see when online. And if you think that being an American is innately a European thing, then that's where the issue can come in, because it is very diverse over here.
I still don't think so. I think it's certainly gotten closer. I'm not that ignorant, but still, like a civil war is a word, man. Like that means people are getting up out of their homes to go kill other Americans. I don't think it's gonna happen. I think that's a lot
Dude,
of work.
Trey Reed. Trey
Hmm?
Reed was found hanging from a tree just
I
shortly.
think that was a suicide. I think that's a suicide. I talked
Really?
about that out of spaces about that. Yeah, you can go. That's a very short spaces. I said, I'm not gonna repeat anything I said. You can go listen to that spaces if you will, where I said everything I had to say about that. Because there's two people hanged, and I'm still waiting on that. I'm waiting for Colin Kaepernick's corner and seeing what he says. But I believe that was a suicide. I have a lot of reason to believe that's a suicide, just like from just my logical shit. But other than that, tensions are high. I think that is something that I should admit. Tensions are high. But you said something. You said that what's his name? Charleston White is giving black people collateral damage. Is it more collateral damage than stabbing a white woman in the neck for no reason? Is it more collateral damage than black people shooting each other for no fucking reason? Well, for a reason, but not a good one. Like we give ourselves a lot of collateral damage just by not being decent people.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's unfortunate because it's all happening at the same fucking time, and it's like you pile driving shit. You compounding emotion and anger, and hatred, and all of a sudden it's hard to see who's who. But I think with all this TikTok and Instagram and stuff, you could start to see that racial tensions amongst the law enforcement as well have just increased, and I don't like to I don't want to be a part of those type of
I
acts.
think it's a good thing that tensions have increased. I would like for white people to be a bit more racist.
You said a bit more.
Yeah, a bit more racist. I think white people are not alert enough because this shit can save your life, man. If you were just imagine if Arena, whatever the fuck her name is, was a bit more racist and just said, "All right, nigga, get away from me." That would save her life potentially. Potentially, I value life. I think we should be more honest, right? More honest towards each other. If that means you hate black people and you don't want to be near me, that is fine. That is your right, right? That's your right. If I hate white people and I don't want to be near them, that should be my right, right? I think everybody should be a bit more honest with each other. That means being more racist, absolutely, right? I don't like white liberals. I hate white liberals more than I hate racists, honestly. Because a white liberal, I've been to schools in liberal areas, man. A white liberal will laugh in your face, pretend to be your friend in front of your face, and then talk about you behind your back. They'll say shit just because they think they're supposed to, and then just fucking hate you behind your back. I'd rather a racist say he doesn't like me and make his boundaries fucking clear, so I don't go in that direction, or at least I know who the fuck to fight in a chaotic situation, than think I have a friend who's gonna stab me in the back. Absolutely.
Well, stereotypical is probably a better word, right? Racist is that's a stretch, man. Because let's say that Ukrainian girl, she had her stereotypes about black men. She probably would have chose a different seat, you know. And
Mm-hmm.
it, you know, I used to take the Charlie at one point too, and I'm a black man myself, but I knew when I seen someone that was a little bit more suspicious, I didn't want to sit in front of them. I'm sitting behind you, if anything, or across. Like I'm not gonna sit directly in front of you just simply because we're forced to be on the same transit. Like, nah, I don't feel comfortable with you right behind me, and I'm not gonna take the risk. That's the
Also,
part.
I think it's better for black people in the long run if white people are more racist, right? Because the power that black people have is white liberal power. It's power that white liberals have given us for the most part. So it's if a white person says nigger, black people go, "Oh, did you just say nigger? Let me call your job. Let me call your work." Like that's not the reaction we should have. We should have more power than a word, man. We need more power. We need more infrastructure than a word, right? There's a reason why I don't want to get on my black power shit right now, man. But man,
No,
it pisses me off.
I,
Like,
go ahead.
go ahead.
Well, I appreciate what you're saying, and I do understand what you're saying, but I think that over here in the West, we kind of just glorify the low expression of blacks.
Mm-hmm. You in LA, bro? You got a lot of planes over you, bro.
Southern California, man. Yeah, hella.
Hey, how did I know? How did I know that? I'm so amazing. Go ahead.
But yeah, it's the low expression, and the like. Look at Dom Creed, bro. Like
Mhm.
he's doing amazing. Fresh and Fit.
But
Those
still, like
guys.
the people you're naming, black people call coons. Black people call
That's all right though.
Sams.
There's always gonna be that. But man, like
Nah,
let's be
man.
real.
I
You have
it's
you have your your decent European Americans, and then you have your low class European Americans, which
no.
would
I
be
want better
referred.
for us all, and I think white people should be a bit. But I'm not saying bring Jim Crow back. Absolutely not. I'm still black. I'm not saying bring Jim Crow back. I'm not saying bring slavery back. None of that shit. I want white people to be more honest and be allowed to be more honest. If a white person says he hates black people, you shouldn't get fired for that. It's America. We have free speech. Fucking go hate white people, you dumbass cracker. That's what I'm gonna say. I don't give a fuck. You shouldn't be shot. You shouldn't be. Well, you can get beat up. I don't care. I think that's a black person's right to smack somebody who calls you a nigger. But still, nothing more than that. You shouldn't take this man's life. You shouldn't get fired. None of that shit. I think that's too extreme, and that's because of the environment that white liberals have created. I think I'm not going to say that. I think white liberals need a lot of their power taken, right? Because they keep loaning power to different parties, right? Is the same power that black people have, the same political power that gay people have, that transsexuals have. Well, transsexuals have somehow more power than black people. Um, who else? Fucking Indians, man. Not Indians. Yeah, Indians. They can come in here with no history, with no legacy in America, and all of a sudden they have a political presence. That's because of white liberals, man. White liberals have created an environment where it's okay, or it's not okay to be honest, pretty much. And we all have to play this political game of what's the word? Political correctness. Yeah, political correctness is what has to be played now, and that is soft in black people. Number one, and number two, we have no real power in here. What power do black people have that's not given to us? No one can really, no one can really answer that. Well, I guess we can riot and destroy our own cities, but like that's not real power. Like that's just a temper tantrum. White people don't care about that at all,
Uh,
at
I,
all.
I could answer that. I think we have the power of charisma for those of us who really value our time. You got people like Mr. Organic.
When I say power, a Jew, if I say fuck Gary and I'm gonna murder your children, Gary, he can call any number of people to take care of me, and it doesn't even have to be killing me or anything like that. He can easily fuck me up or fuck anybody up who says that. You know what I mean? Right? That's power. If a white person is down on his luck, right? I've seen white people go to their friends, and I've been helped by white people too. They're just chill. I love my white people, but a white person down on his luck, homeless, no job, he can easily get back up. What people in your immediate friends and family, Mr. Mo Wisdom, can call someone if you need help. And when I say call someone, I mean a lawyer, a doctor, an accountant, like someone who contributes to society and matters, right? That's when I say power. Black people at most, well, no, a lot of black people are in the middle class too. A lot of black people. It's not a minority, but also a lot of black people don't have somebody that can call if they need a problem fixed, right? And that's what I mean by power. That's what I mean by structural integrity. That's what I mean by all that stuff. And it takes more than just a speech. You say charisma, that's like an individual level, right? And there are white people that are charismatic too. It's not something that we have, right? Black people don't really have something that we have. Asians came over, them Chinese people came over and took salons and restaurants away from us. How the fuck did they happen? Chinese people don't have 100 years of history and all that stuff and the legacy that black people have, but yet they were able to come in here and get some real estate.
Right.
That's what I mean by
Well,
power, right? Hold on. I was at a restaurant. For Labor Day. For Labor Day, I was at a Chinese restaurant for Labor Day, and I didn't know what kind of restaurant it was. Me and my guy, we just went in there on some vibe shit, and it wasn't like an expensive like date restaurant, like and where water costs $20. Water costs $20, and like a meal was like 90. And we got water, not knowing we didn't even see the menu yet, so we didn't know it was $20. And we said, "Hey, ma'am, I gotta go. I didn't know. I'll pay for the water, but we gotta go." And the niggas that came out as soon as because they thought that we were just trying to dine and dash. The niggas that came out, bro, how can they do that? How can they do that? The motherfucking triads came out because when you come in, there's just an old lady at the front. She's just greeting people. But when we came out, 6 niggas came out the walls, bro. 6 Chinese triad niggas came out of the walls ready to fuck some shit up just because they thought that we were just 2 niggas about to dine and dash. How can they do that in Ohio? In Ohio, this isn't Chinatown in New York or San Francisco or LA. This is in Ohio, just bumfuck Ohio. They have that fucking real estate. Black people don't have that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Sadly, that's some of the aftermath and trauma that slavery had in us because we were stripped of many
That's an
things.
excuse, man.
No,
That's an excuse,
I'm
man.
not saying I'm not saying that's all of it, but that's part of it because it has to do with the wealth of our creativity, career
How
status,
long are we going to be
neutrality.
slaves, bro?
No, hold on.
Like this
Listen,
shit
I didn't
happened
say
300
that.
years ago. How
I
long are
didn't,
we going to be slaves?
I
Go
didn't
ahead.
say
Go
that.
ahead.
I didn't say that because you spoke about the physical realm power. Now that's directly it correlates to that because if we would have never been attacked in the 40s with Black Wall Street, and you got to think Black people is the one race that has had to start over hella times, hella times. We've not it's didn't we didn't have an issue with our race. It was other groups that had an issue. Let's clarify that first and foremost. That's the reason why we didn't have as much power because we have been targeted many times.
You're about to hate me. A
No,
lot of black people about to hate
no,
me
it's all
for what
good.
I'm about to
Let
say.
me just finish real quick. Let me just finish.
Yeah.
And because we can agree to disagree. I don't really care at all. Um, yeah, we may not have as much power in this physical realm. I think us as Black people, our power resides in the spiritual realm, and that's my personal belief.
Yeah. So we got to get over this, man. We got to get over this. Number one, America is the greatest country in the world. It is a privilege to be born in America versus any other part of the world. White people, I'm not saying we need to be grateful and kiss white people at their feet. No, they did not have to let us to stop slavery. They did not have to do that. They did not have to give us the right to vote. By the grace of God, right? Whether you believe God is black or white, whoever the fuck, right? We have became equal through our long history. Yes, it was hard, right? Black Wall Street was not an entire town. It was 5 buildings, which is still a tragedy, right? I don't want to degrade that tragedy, but it was 5 buildings. And black people have already got it back in blood many times over. All right. We're not just like some pussy ass people who just took it, right? And now we're just down and about and we can't climb up. No, we got it back in blood many times over. There are more black millionaires in America than anywhere else. There are more black billionaires in America than anywhere else. They're like we got to get over it, man. And I disagree with you saying that black people are the only people who've had to rebuild multiple times throughout the long arc of history. Everyone has become a slave. Everyone has become enslaved. Everyone has had their shit torn down several times over, with exception to 1 people. But I'm not going to say them because I don't want this spaces to get shut down. But yeah, we got to get over it, man. So what that they tore that Black Wall Street happened? Do it again. And it's 2025. We're not going to let people just tear shit down in 2025. We got guns. We got all types of shit. It's not happening again. Even if white people wanted to tear down a fucking black neighborhood, we're not letting them, number one. Number two, most black neighborhoods are run down ghettos, man. It's not worth tearing down in the first place. We got to get to that step. We got to get to being worth being torn down in the first place, right? Why can't Chinese people go into fucking New York and build Chinatown? There are certain places in Chinatown I can't walk into because it's strictly for Chinese. I could walk into there, but they would make the environment very uncomfortable for me. You know what I mean? There are certain restaurants in Little Italy I can't go into. It's meant for certain people. How can they do? Well, I guess Italians were here, but still, you get what I'm trying to say. Why is Harlem the fucking ghetto? why is Harlem the worst part of New York? It may not be. I'm not an expert. I'm not a deep expert on New York real estate, but still, you get my point, right? We've been here forever. Not as long as white people, but might as well be, right? I'm equal. I am equal, and sometimes better than a white person. Right, so it shouldn't really all the shit that you're talking about in history and the trauma and stuff. We got to get over it, or I'm choosing to get over it. Right?
It's not. I don't think that.
Hold on. Let me finish, and I'll let you talk. And then, like when you talk, that'll be the final word because I gotta go. I got somebody coming in here. But I'm choosing to get over it. I'm choosing to be an American. I value America. I want my kids to be raised in America. This is the best country in the world. I don't want people to corrupt that. Other black people are choosing the other way and choosing like this black supremacy. America is corrupt, and I'm gonna burn this bitch down and rebuild it. All power to you. All power to you. You go right ahead. But to those people, man, if you believe America is a dictatorship and white people are just the most evil people ever, right? And you hate white people and they're our oppressor and all that shit. Number one, why are you still here? You can just go. There are a billion black people in Africa. There's black people all across the world, right? I do believe that black people used to be kings in Europe, called the Moors. There were a few of them, right? You can go anywhere. You can go everywhere. You can go anywhere and everywhere. You have the resources available to you to leave. You don't have to be here. Just go. Why do you got to stay here and burn shit down? A lot of black people have adopted this communist belief of wanting to tear America down and rebuild it. And it's just awful. I don't see that as the result. A lot of black people aren't really smart enough to think about the second and third order effects of what they're thinking. Because a lot of a lot of black people agree with the Carlos Brown Jr.'s action of just killing random white people, which I don't understand. That boggles my mind. But I'll do another spaces on the Carlos Brown. That is absolutely mine. I can't process that event, and I think I think it was staged. But anyways, I just want us to pick a side already, man. Stop tiptoeing around the shit. You either want to be an American, you want to live here, and you get over the slavery shit that happened. It happened. People have been enslaved before. Black people have enslaved white people before. It happens, man. Get over it. We're in a different time now. You can build wealth for your family. You can live like kings. You can live better than kings right now. Just get over it. That's my point. That's my point. Or are we just going to spill blood forever and ever? Right? Because for the black people who won a race war, what is your victory condition? What is your victory condition? Just kill all white people? Is that it? And then what? Because even if that happens, even if by some miracle all the black people who are in this race war end up killing all white people, the rest of the world isn't going to let us have America. Like, right? Is that the end goal? Just killing all white people? All right, I'm just rambling. Go ahead, Mo. You have the final word.
Sounds good. Thank you. And appreciate you hosting the space. So I don't personally align with the harboring of slavery. I don't really see too many other black people aligning with that type of stuff either. I just think on a grand scale and like a really intelligent psychological level, we've been attacked from several angles. Now, I'm not going to make that the excuse and the reason as to why you shouldn't try and ascend up the ranks and become wealthy within your career and business, creativity, health, family, wealth, social status, spirituality, love for others, and most importantly, love for yourself. So if you can't do that at a great rate, you know, it's going to take for someone to influence you or even make that an important topic in your life. Real quick, we got this plan going again. Because I agree with you overall for some of the things I agree with majority, not everything. And I think the high expression of the black race isn't being highlighted as much. I don't experience the poverty of black people and where I'm at, and I didn't grow up around it. And for those that are in it, sometimes if they can get the wisdom to maneuver away from it, then shout out to them. But for those that are stuck in it and have these crazy radical beliefs, I don't even think we should be paying attention to them because that's like the clowns that Nipsey Hussle referred to when we can all see that someone is a clown or is a scoffer or a fool and is ignorant. We should just not even pay attention. But this media is known for highlighting the low expression. And lastly, I'll say this: I posted in the Nest a book called The Sacred Wisdom. It was written by Dr. Malachi Z. York, and he actually is a great depiction and example of the Black intelligence. He can speak 19 languages fluently and has written over thousands of books, or 8,000 books. And the book that I posted up above is called The Sacred Wisdom. It gives a lot of answers to many of the topics we talked about today, and just the history of how we kind of came across to where we are today. Not just on a political aspect or physical aspect, but the mental and the spiritual regards as well, and how we have been, malnourished. Our spirit hasn't been fed. You got to feed the spirit, just like the mind and the body. It's important, and sadly, right now, the impoverished Black individuals, they're they're savages, man. They're savages, but that doesn't mean that they can't turn their mind around at some point. Some of them is too late, but they're still in America, and I think every race has their poverty and those people that come from that as well. So yeah, you know, we can either choose to include them as Americans or not, but overall, I think they shouldn't even have the spotlight on them at all.
Thank you, Mr. Mo. And this was kind of derailed, but I got most of my thoughts about Charlie Kirk out. And for the Black people, I have been kind of shitting on Black people the past week. I'm gonna make a I hate cracker spaces. All right, thank y'all for coming here. Peace.